Welcome back to another episode of Rock Boys Football, taking a look at some of my favorite targets for this USC program in that 2025 class, specifically on the offensive side of the football. And it's been a blast working through all the film for some of these guys. And I want to talk about and kind of highlight some of my favorite players that USC is gunning after in that 2025 class. Extremely excited to get into this one. Before we do, and as always, just want to say, thank you to you guys. And many of you guys know talking the recruiting trail is one of my favorite things to do in the college football landscape. And the USC fans, you guys continue to show a ton of love, a ton of support to the boys. As always, we'll keep you guys as updated as possible with what USC is doing on the recruiting trail. And if y'all do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel. And without further ado, let's get into this one. And I want to start with one of my favorite running backs in this 2025 class from modern day, right in your backyard, Jordan Davidson. Two things. Talking about the player, I mean, Jordan Davidson largely got just as much, if not more, work than five-star Nate Frazier did last year for modern day. You talk about kind of the boxes you want to see checked at that running back position: 5'11", 203 pounds, that ideal frame. His short area quickness for 200-plus pounds is absolutely incredible. His ability to make people miss, jump cut, it's really impressive. So when you start combining, all right, the size, 5'11", 203, thick lower half, really good contact balance with the short area quicks that Jordan Davidson has, that's what you're looking at, in my mind, a special running back. And although he maybe lacks that top end speed, this is a guy that you kind of feel comfortable with is going to be a guy that is probably a lead running back at the college football level. And another talking point is Anthony Jones Jr. coming in for USC at that running back coach spot. We talked about him earlier this week. That was a phenomenal hire. And this is a guy that during the last 6 years as a running backs coach, both at Memphis and TCU, has developed over 6 NFL draft picks at that running back position. You talk about selling to these kids on the recruiting trail, development to the NFL level. I mean, I don't know who does it better than Anthony Jones Jr. So it was a phenomenal hire, and I think it could pay off with Jordan Davidson from modern day. And again, I think a lot of USC fans think this. We got to see the pipeline from modern day to USC get a little bit stronger, right? There is so much talent that is not staying home at USC. I know a lot of USC fans feel the same way, so we're not going to kind of spend too much time on it, but this would be a massive opportunity to maybe just get that pipeline going once again for USC. Now, next guy I want to talk about, and one of my this is a really fun player to watch on the film. I know this is a USC fan favorite as well. Phillip Bell, again, from the state of California. You talk about a guy that he's a little bit bigger than Mekhi Lemon, but kind of reminds you of Mekhi Lemon in terms of the feet, the footwork, the route running ability for Phillip Bell is absolutely, it's special. I mean, he's got lightning feet. He creates separation incredibly well, especially with his release packages. And this is a guy that the feet look like a blur on the film. When opposing quarterbacks try to come up and put hands on Phillip Bell, they really just largely miss. Now, he has a little bit better of a frame than Mekhi Lemon, but man, I think the footwork, the ability to separate between Mekhi Lemon and Phillip Bell, it kind of is very similar. And I think Phillip Bell would be a massive addition to this USC offense. And again, going back to when you have a quarterback like Julian Lewis committed, when your head coach is named Lincoln Riley, this is a very attractive spot for pass catchers. And I think Phillip Bell certainly is trending to USC, but I think this would be a massive get for the Trojans in that 2025 class. Now, the next guy I want to talk about, and as a Michigan fan, khik Lockett is a guy that he's thinking about Michigan too. But again, at the end of the day, you talk about if you're a wide receiver, you're saying USC, Michigan, what opportunity am I going to get more to go be a playmaker? It's obviously USC. Now, what I love about Lockett is I just made the comparison of Phillip Bell to Mekhi Lemon. I'll give Lockett that Jacoby Lane comp. Now, again, he's maybe a little bit shorter than Jacoby Lane coming out of high school. But you talk about what made Jacoby Lane special in high school, what makes him special at USC, that ability to go up, make those contested catches, have that phenomenal body control. That's what you see on Lockett's film, right? You kind of similar to Jacoby Lane when you turned on his high school film. It was just, for a lack of better terms, just mossing guys. You kind of see the same in Lockett now, maybe a little shorter. I think he has maybe a little bit more juice in terms of the athleticism department. We have this conversation a lot. When you're filling out that wide receiver room, you want guys that can do a lot of different things. And I think USC did a phenomenal job of that in that 2023 class, right? You have Zach Branch, probably the fastest player in college football. You have a space guy in Mekhi Lemon. You have a big body in Jacoby Lane. And then you have a unicorn in Deuce Robinson. I think Khik Lockett and Phillip Bell kind of very similar, where Phillip Bell is your separator, the guy that's going to be your route runner. Lockett's a guy that averaged 16 yards per catch his junior year. He's going to be a guy working down the field like both of these wide receivers a lot. And again, we're moving to the Big Ten. Lincoln Riley knows better than anyone else. This is a line of scrimmage game. And I want to talk about two favorite offensive linemen in this class, too, for USC. First one I want to talk about, Douglas Utu plays his football at Bishop Gorman, started at right tackle last year. And what I love most about Douglas Utu is you get a lot of position versatility. Like, you watch the film of him at right tackle, Bishop Gorman. That was the best high school team in the country last year. You don't really have any questions. I think he best suits as an interior guy at the college football level, but I think he can play tackle too. And that's kind of one of your goals when you're saying, all right, what do we want to do on the offensive line? You want versatility, you want depth, and the best way to get depth is guys that can play inside and outside. I think Douglas Utu certainly can do that. And you talk about what he brings to the table. This is a guy that I wouldn't be surprised if he commits to USC. You're talking about a potential starter in the 2025 year as a true freshman, because you look at the build, 6'5", 300 pounds, the power that he has in his hands. This is a guy that seemingly is ready to step on the college football field immediately and play at a pretty high level. He is a road grader in the run game, solid feet and pass pro. And the other offensive lineman I want to talk about now, ranked higher than Douglas Utu, but my take on him, it would be much higher upside. You know, you talk about high upside. Andrew Babala probably has one of the highest at the offensive tackle position in this 2025 class. The question with him, and not necessarily question, more the comment, is probably not a year one guy, right? Douglas Utu is pretty much fully developed, right? You're getting a college football ready guy after that 2025 graduation. Andrew Babala, he's ranked higher because the projection is incredible for this kid, right? You're talking about, I want to build a tackle in a laboratory. It's going to spit out Andrew Babala, right? 6'6", 280 pounds. He's a former basketball player, so the footwork is absolutely incredible. And you see when you turn on the film, like, he is not nearly a finished product. You can tell that he hasn't been playing football very long, but you're talking about a guy that, when you have the length that he has, the athleticism that he has, he definitely has the frame to get up to 310 pounds, 320 pounds. This is a guy that has a tremendous upside. And again, probably not going to be a guy that starts year one or has even the chance to start year one, but a guy that you talk about year two, year three, year four, when you get some development, that is certainly going to be Andrew Babala. Now, you look at USC, you just want to see them. You got your quarterback in Julian Lewis. You're going to get the offensive skill. I think USC fans want to see is making sure that offensive line is ready to rock heading into the Big Ten. And more importantly, we'll talk about the defensive prospects that I like the most probably later this weekend. Appreciate you guys rocking with the boys. We'll cut it there. If y'all do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel, and we'll talk to y'all later.